Hi, third graders. I'm Miss Liz from the New Lenox Public Library, and it is October, and it is time to read some Halloween books, some spooky books, scary books, and I am going to tell you about some of my favorites. I have some picture books, some chapter books, and some nonfiction. They're perfect to read this time of the year. All of the books that I tell you about, you can find at the New Lenox Public Library. So if you're interested in any of them, please come in and we will help you find them and get them checked out. All right, let's get started. The Skeleton in the Closet. This is the story of one boy's adventure when a rattling, cold-to-the-bone skeleton arrives at his doorstep in search of, well, it may just surprise you what Mr. Bones is on the hunt for. I'm not going to tell you. I want you to come in and find out. Next up is The Witch's Walking Stick. This story starts out with an old woman who has lost her walking stick to a silly dog. The woman is actually a witch, and she uses that walking stick to turn birds into fish and all kinds of other mean things. Meanwhile, Margaret, an orphaned girl, whose brother and sister make her sweep the floors, chop the wood, cook the meals, feed the pigs, and anything else that they can think of to demand, has had enough. She's just done, and she runs away. She comes across this old woman who then offers her some coins in exchange for her walking stick. If she can find her walking stick and bring it to her, she will give her coins. Well, when Margaret finds the walking stick, she realizes that it is magic. So she uses that to defend herself from her wicked brother and sister. At one point, the brother literally tells the little girl, "Go make me a sandwich." So she turns him into a ham sandwich. Read this story to find out what else Margaret does with the magic stick and what happens when she returns it to the old woman. Next up, The Zombie Zone. This is part of the A to Z mystery series, and a lot of the mysteries are creepy and scary, so if this book isn't in when you come in to check it out, we can find you something else. The main characters in this story are Dink, Joss, Ruth Rose, and they are all on vacation in the small Louisiana bayou country. This place has a scary problem, and when there are reports of zombies and grave robbers, everyone is frightened. But of course, Ruth Rose, Josh, and Dink begin to suspect that the supernatural may not be the cause of the eerie occurrences. Can it be real? I don't know. If you check this book out, you can try to solve the mystery as you are reading along. Next up, The Incredible Shrinking Horror. This is a new one that we recently got. And the game is on at the International Twist Competition. Finalists gather from around the world to match wits at the competition in a camp in Ontario, Canada. One night, the lead player, Riza, tells a spooky campfire story about a monster and a man who disappears, leaving behind only a set of shrinking footprints in the mud. All of the campers love this story and are still talking about it the next morning when they discover that Riza has vanished. Well, now it is up to Lola and Mateo to investigate what happened to Riza and what was making that scary howling sound in the middle of the night. Grab this book to find out how Lola and Mateo work together to face their fears and track down clues and find out the truth behind the incredible shrinking horror. All right, this is a picture book. It's not scary. It's pretty silly. And this is a very witchy spelling bee. This is about young Cordelia, the witch, and she loves to spell, which means she loves to spell words and she loves practicing spells. So especially when she can do a double spell is when she can turn one word into another word just by zapping it with one letter. So she turns her cat into coat just by zapping it with the letter O. Well, she sees a sign that advertises the witch's double spelling bee. And she knows that she has to enter this contest and is determined to win. But Beulah Devine, who is 203 years old and is a 13-time spelling champion, also wants to win this one. Can Cordelia outspell the most fiendish witch at the bee? Find out. I'm not afraid of this haunted house. This is about a boy named Simon Lester Henry Strauss, and he is not afraid of anything. He is not afraid of witches, ghosts, vampires, screaming ghouls, or goblins. So he and his friends, they visit a haunted house, and all of his friends run and scream from all the ghostly inhabitants. Simon, every time something frightening scares his friends, he shouts, "I'm Simon Lester Strauss, and I'm not afraid of this haunted house." Well, this is a humorous and delightfully creepy rhyming story, and I want you to come and check this one out and find out what happens. Who likes Goosebumps? This is Goosebumps Halloween, Slappy's Return. When Slappy and his friend Sam find a ventriloquist dummy in an abandoned warehouse in a box is labeled Slappy, they decide to take him home. What they didn't realize was that they had brought him to life. He woke up from whatever he was doing, and he woke up, and now it's Halloween, so things are even worse. Slappy uses his dark magic powers to make all the Halloween decorations come alive, and they start to attack. Can Sunny and Sam stop him before it's too late? This is Beneath the Bed and Other Scary Stories. So, in this book, it's described as, get ready for your spine to tingle. What is hiding underneath that bed? Why is there a chill in the air? And who is scratching at the window? Find out in the 5 scary stories that are in this nice book. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Well, there are scientists, and they are convinced that ghosts are real, and they are going to get the evidence to prove it. Once they actually start finding ghosts, they have to try to figure out a way to contain them. They all work together to detect the ghosts and to trap them. They run into trouble when a ghost-loving hotel custodian decides to unleash hundreds of ghosts around the city. Once the crew of Ghostbusters finally corrals all the ghosts, everyone in the city knows who to call. Ghostbusters. I've also got a book from the original Ghostbusters. Next up, I have The Monstrous Book of Monsters. This is a non-fiction book. It is packed with foul facts and disgusting drawings. There are all kinds of ideas in here of how to stay away from monsters. The author warns, bravery is overrated. Running away is always the best plan. Reading this book might save your life. So I'm just going to show you a little bit inside here. It's got a lot of lift the flaps with some interesting facts and things inside. This is Monster Record Breakers. Whoa. So I know you'll really like this one. Next I have Monsters Are Real and Other Fun Facts. This is a great book. It's nonfiction, but it reads as a picture book, so it's got some great pictures in it and a lot of great facts. So come in, grab this book, and tell me what you think. Next up, I have a graphic novel. It is part of the Far Out fairy tale series. It is the story of Hansel and Gretel and zombies. This is graphic novel, like I said. It's got great, wonderful pictures in it, and zombies, Hansel and Gretel, along with their parents who have really boring names. They're called Mr. Undead and Mrs. Undead. Well, they are protein deficient. They're not getting enough brains to eat. So their corner of the magical forest doesn't attract very many brains these days. And they have this broken light bulb moment where Mama Zombie comes up with a plan to disguise her children, her undead children, as children that are alive. And they're going to trick the tourists into helping them find their way home to the cemetery for dinner. So read this one. It's not as spooky as it sounds. And last but not least, we have Franny K. Stein, Mad Scientist, Lunch Walks Among Us. This is the first book in a series about Franny, who is a mad scientist, and she really likes all things that are spooky and creepy. In this book, she is attending a new school and she has trouble making friends, so she tries to fit in by doing some experiments. It seems to work until a monster erupts from the garbage can. Very funny book. All right, so hopefully some of these books have interested you and you'll want to come in and check them out. Happy reading!